Devil May Cry 5 is a sequel released after 11 years since DMC4. With familiar characters and following the setting of the fourth game, it surpasses it in every way, and in quality meets third game of the series at the time of the release. Gameplay in its every multiple way is near perfect, and very over-the-top set pieces go to the right place of being funny instead of cringy. Story itself is filled with a lot of questions and intrigued myself at least quite a lot, but story is only a small part why I enjoy these games and have always enjoyed. I've literally spent thousands of hours on this game series, and as always I try to avoid spoilers to my best in this review, so I will be not talking about certain things at all. World design is combined with the story heavily, so I do not dwell so much into it as I said. It is great though, go and see yourself. There are a lot of fine details that I at least appreciated. New characters introduced here received quite a lot of shit for unknown reasons that surround tattoos, clothing and attitudes, etc. For me this is no problem at all, I actually like it. And I think it might be some cultural disease from wherever you are from, as no one gives a fuck about these kind of things in here. In here you are welcome to slap your face full of tattoos and to be a police or a politician for all anyone cares. There's not much except the single player in the game, and for now there is several difficulty settings that will keep you occupied before the Bloody Palace servable arena is released. Most of the people I've seen playing this game struggle on the normal difficulty, and especially on the harder ones. Keep in mind there are quite a few absurd difficulties after the basic one. What I'm not a huge fan is the third character that you are forced to play as. I do like how he plays and the difference in the combat mechanism, but simply two player characters in a game filled literally tens of combinations of weapons and skills per weapons from melee to range is enough to me. It wouldn't be a bad thing if you wouldn't have to upgrade his skills separately. After you have played as him, Nero or Dante feel just a lot different and take a moment to get used to again. Playing as the third character makes the gameplay not so seamless also as the style of gameplay changes. It's also very easy. I find it hard to play bad at that character. It seems that always, at least on S rank, if not SSS rank in style. New weapons are pretty much all great. Creating your own arrangement of weapons makes it easier to do your own style of combos, but here also comes the problem that you can't remove, for example, one weapon from the arrangement if you know you wouldn't need it. I had this minor annoyance with one slow weapon, which I would have wanted to take away from my setting, so I wouldn't have to always skip it in certain locations, because I so rarely needed one or two specific combos from it. Dante works the same way as he did in the Devil May Cry 4, that you can from the fly change all the stars, which makes the gameplay hectic as fuck at times if you have prepared your fingers and mind for it. Same goes for Nero compared to the earlier version of himself. Except instead of demon arm you now have a set of robotic arms that each behave a bit differently, again boosting your own way to playing. Enemies just have no complex AI as you accept. You run of the mill aggressive fuckers that try to mercilessly tear you apart. Just the way it should be in a game like this. Boss fights are rather cool and often well balanced if you are playing the game right way. Few times I have failed because I have taken a break just before I go to a boss fight, and the mindset of playing this game, the boss fights seem a bit harder. I played this game on PC, on Xbox One controller, and everything works perfectly with the controller as you can change the input settings. They're at least on retarded basic settings where you either have to hold index and middle finger on bumper and trigger or change the trigger to left trigger so instead of losing your lock on. Oh yeah, the main thing that bothers me is that the toggle lock on would have been nice. I know it's always been a hold the lock on button on these games, but basically you're just forced to hold on the lock on most of the time, which is kind of stupid. Visual presentation is very nicely done and it's clear but filled with effects. Especially the physics with clothes and hair are worth watching. Particle effects are everywhere and these sometimes react to the physics of the game. They are clearly made, sometimes as static particle effects to keep the performance at high. Characters are well designed overall. They are nothing but fault me in the eyes except the jumping if you are wearing Mega Mass Buster as Nero. That is hilarious and atrocious at the same time. A lot of people also gave shit about the music, especially before the release, but I myself really like it. It's filled with action-packed soundtracks as well as orchestrated melodies. Everything has its place and are well used to amplify your emotions. Sound effects pack quite a kick and killing stuff just feels satisfying. Minor nuisances aside, this is probably the most I've enjoyed playing the Devil May Cry game. Waiting for Bloody Palaces with huge excitement, and if we count to the game already, it's jackpot 10 out of 10. I know there are people that will say that, oh my god, Devil May Cry 3 was so much better and is so much better. I know Devil May Cry 3 is an amazing game. It's so close to this one, but it has dated well, but this one enhances. This is what I would have hoped Devil May Cry 4 to be.